Happy Monday. 35 more days.
Who's counting?
I'm going to go over a few things, and then we have a guest speaker today, Matt Everhart. He brought the donuts, so.
Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
All right, birthdays. Otis McCoy. No, he's new. I don't know if you guys have seen him around. Jim Millay, his birthday this month. Octavia Lewis and Brandy. If you have not yet filled out your form of whether you intend to come back next year, please go see Brandy when we're done so that we can get an idea of what's going on. Accidents. Yeah, oh God is right. 12 accidents.
For the year?
After we went over it last month, don't back up. Do not back up the school bus. Do not try to weave your way through something. When in doubt, don't. And we had 2 people back up a bus.
Wow.
No spotters. One did not hit anything, but it was at an elementary school. And one was the mailbox. Another mailbox. So, I don't know what we need to do to get this through you guys' heads. That's what we're here for. We will come out and spot you. You should not ever be backing up a school bus without a spotter. Right? You guys tell me, what do we need to do? I don't know if you're in a hurry. Think, well, I'll get behind on my route if I wait for us to come out there. That's what we have subs for.
Yeah, I'm bored. I've been sitting last night.
He would love to come out and help you. I cannot stress it enough, guys. 12 accidents is ridiculous. It has to change. We have to start calling in. There's no shame in calling us and saying, hey, turn the corner and I can't get through here. I need help. There is no shame in it. It happens to everyone. And you can't see around corners, right? So again, when in doubt, don't. In the news, I'm sure everyone has probably by now seen the tirade of the bus driver in Ohio. Oh yeah, she lost it, right? Crazy. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna have to go.
You wanna play it?
Play it for us. Do
Yeah.
There is some foul language.
Over here. Maybe I'll learn a new word.
So my point would be, don't ever let yourself get to this point. Oh my goodness, come in and talk to us.
Ohio?
What's Cleveland?
She's been a driver for 20 years.
Yeah.
She had enough.
I know nothing about that.
Check her in somewhere, right?
Kinda like that country song, "Pick your job and shove it."
She did apologize, but she says I do not take it back.
Oh.
She resigned.
I didn't do anything. I can smell it. I didn't do anything. I didn't spray anything.
Sick of you. I'm sick of all of this shit. I'm gonna start kicking some fucking serious ass. My butt's gonna be so far up your goddamn ass. This ball in your bag. Now you give it to me.
All right, fine.
Done. God dang it! I can fucking smell it.
I didn't spray anything.
I'm allergic to this shit.
She's standing there.
You like to start shit too, Maya. You're no innocent angel here. I'm done with this shit. Done. I've had my fill. I'm done with it. I'm ready to walk off this goddamn bus right now and let you people walk the fuck home. How much more do you think anybody can freaking say? Shut your mouth. I don't want to hear another goddamn word out of your mouth. Excuse me. What did I just fucking tell you?
Nope. She's getting it all out.
Shit, Jackson. Yes. Another goddamn word out of you.
I'm surprised you didn't get all we're trying to
So, yeah.
I think she was talking there like.
And then they raised her over $60,000.
Yeah, she does have a GoFundMe. She has nationwide support.
It has over $60,000.
If that tells you anything about what school bus drivers put up with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have our moments. But please, if you ever get that frustrated, come talk to us again. Josh would love to go out and do your route.
So if I do that here at work, you guys give in for a short time. Right? I can't do that here, you'd be gone.
Be gone.
She's gone.
She did resign.
Yeah. But I want to be rewarded if I do that.
Mary, how long had she been driving?
Like 20 years. wasn't it?
There we are.
Yeah.
There we are.
She had a bad morning.
So what started it is spraying the perfume. She's allergic to it. And she keeps telling them to stop spraying the perfume. She had to pull over one day and use her inhaler. And so when they did it again, that's what happened.
Especially with their health,
Yep. Mhm. It's a dangerous situation. But again, come talk to us if you're feeling fed up.
We talk to you like that.
That would be insubordination.
I'm just venting.
Yeah, no, in all seriousness. Actually, I've had drivers vent before. Doesn't bother me. I'd rather you vent to me than the kids, you know? And then, unfortunately, the other in the news is the shooting, another school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee. Yep, I'm sure you guys saw the pictures, especially the little girl on the bus, tears coming down, her face. Just a reminder, we have to unfortunately be prepared if something like that ever happens. So if there's any confusion whatsoever, I know we've had Tim out to talk about it, our security, head of security. But if you have anything, that you're not sure of, please let us know, okay? All right, and then we have important dates. April 12th is the Geneva Wide garage sales. We're typically okay, other than I think maybe one on Cane Mill Road. But just know that that'll be going on. my notes from last year that the 8th graders went to the high school in April. We don't have that date yet, but just know that'll be coming up as well. That's a lot of buses to get them all over there and back. Brandy has a form for you guys to try to gauge, how much interest there is in summer routes, because we do need to get those covered. And the deadline for sign up for the parents was this past Friday. So Matt should have those out this week at some point, right?
I should have the list of students this week to start getting routes done. So we should have an idea of how many there are by the end of the week.
And a lot we know, private placement, right?
Yeah, private placement's generally a guarantee.
All right, so you'll be seeing that. And then, we're no longer gonna need to run all the field trip buses out of here. I think we're safe now, or take your own bus if you're at North or South. And then, gave you the wrong date, I just put my glasses on. Friday, August 28th is the Geneva White Garage sale. Wednesday, April 12th, that is this week, Geneva High School has early dismissal for testing. And then, we've gone over this, but just again, Monday, August 7th is when you can come in and start reviewing the routes for the new school year. Tuesday, August 8th, from 8 to 10 will be the first 2-hour refresher. So if you're towards the bottom of the list, make sure that you can be here on that Tuesday. And then Wednesday is our in-service with breakfast, and we were able to get the second 2-hour refresher from 11 to 1, so that we can just flow straight through, and then those of you who still need your 2-hour will stay another 2 hours on that Wednesday. And then when we're finished with that, you guys can look at the routes again, have more route viewing. And then the bidding starts Thursday, August 10th at 7 a.m. We'll go from 7 to 3 every 10 minutes. And then Friday from 7 to noon. Monday, August 14th, that's when we drive our AM routes. And then the 16th, that Wednesday, is the first day of school. Any questions on that?
On the AM route, we do the full
AM, yep,
AM.
at the right time.
Are we all gonna be pulling out of here that day?
Well,
Full parking lot.
we'll see. That is the plan, to have that lot done. I know that they're struggling a little bit with the engineer, what the engineer wants, or says that we have to have. But that's the goal, is to get that done so everyone is here next year. Field trips. There are 68 trips on the board. It's spring. Everyone needs to be signing up and helping with field trips. Okay? Any questions on any of that? And anything we've gone over? All right, well then I'm gonna introduce Matt Everhart, and he is going to talk to us about IMRF.
Hello there, thanks for having us. Thank you, Mary, thank you, Matt. And first off, who got my sign back there? Can I steal that sign on my way out? Is there, is there Everhart in the area, or
Oh,
Retired.
retired?
Years ago.
Okay, well, God bless him, I wonder if he's related. I don't think Dad drove up here though. But, guys, thanks for doing what you do. You guys are underappreciated, I guarantee it. I love that video to start the day off though. Brought me back, it was Lee Eilbrock, the Cubs manager. that had the meltdown that one year?
Oh, yeah.
She was good. She was good. Bulls need her to come in at halftime and give her a nice little pep talk. But no, what we're here today for is to try to take some pressure and work off of the staff here. I do not work with IMRF. However, IMRF does not have enough manpower to come out and send people out and answer your direct questions. The one thing I found out regarding your pension, learn about it, please. Don't blow it off. My goal is to have a 10-minute chat with every one of you and just find out what your particular situation involves. Everybody is different. I'm not going to give a presentation. It's all different. I'll ask some questions. 90% of the people I talk to and help understand their pension, they don't know what questions to ask. So if you don't know, give a holler. We'll help you get familiar with it. You guys are blessed to have IMRF as a pension. They take money out of your check for a darn good reason. Because if not, we wouldn't prepare for it. The point I will make, does anybody know what is the minimum pay cut you will take once you retire from school? What's the money you're making now that you will not get from your pension, the difference between that? What's the minimum pay cut you can expect when you quit working? Does anybody know? You get to take home the leftover donuts.
60%. There's never any left over.
25%. The most you can expect is 75% of your final average salary. And there's calculations, we can help you figure all this out. That 25%, can you live on that, on 75% of the income that you have? And that's if you work for 30 years, 35 quite frankly. We can help you fill that gap. There are different ways of going about it. There's different plans available for you. We have those that can automatically take it out of your paycheck if you wish to help supplement that. I can help explain, IMRF has a plan as well that you can take out money. May not be the best, but it's available to you. It's not a bad plan at all. But it may not be the best, that extra 7% they get you and so forth. But we can help explain that. But each person, you have your number of years, you have your salary, we can help you calculate what your expected pension might be. Yeah.
We're not salaried, we're
All right, well, but your money, your income.
I don't know if that makes a difference.
No, it's what your actual income is. So, and then that's part of the calculation. What was I barking about? I was just babbling, I was babbling, no big deal. But again, I will stick around, I'll have my phone, I will get you on the calendar if you'd like to take the time. Go ahead.
Question, I know IMRF is fully funded, but there's rumors around that the state of Illinois is trying to get IMRF funds into other union funds, and they're not fully vested either, or invested, or funded. What do you hear about that?
It's Illinois. I'm not going to make a statement. Okay, do I trust them? No. But the thing is, there's enough people that are drawing IMRF pensions that if they jack with it where it hurts people, then it's not going to be good for them. But it's a cash cow. I mean, the TRS is doing, they've done the same thing with TRS. They would be insane not to have it fully funded and invested. And I think they know that. So I wouldn't lose sleep over it at this point. But again, also another blessing with IMRF is that you're also still contributing to Social Security. But as far as, I don't care where you're at in your career, work, life, whatever, give a holler, get an idea. Most important thing I touch on are what are the dates that are important. How many dates do you need, how many years you gotta put in? What's the earliest you could quit and still have a pension?
10 now.
Nice, nicely done.
And you could buy back your service too.
That's another thing you need to look into. Yeah, my wife, she had a couple of years, we just took the money, weren't thinking, and then, well, wait a minute. It got her 2 years back. So sometimes it's well worth it, sometimes it's not, but sometimes it's well worth it. But yeah, each case is individual. We gotta, if I don't know the answer, we call IMRF together. At least I have a better idea what questions to ask to get your answers. So, it's a lot of fun helping you guys, and I urge you strongly to take advantage of it. If you have questions about my character, don't talk to Jay Hurley. So, do you have any questions while I'm here? Was it Brenda we were gonna talk to? Is there any questions? Brenda? Brandy, excuse me. Got a question in the back.
I was just trying to see, I didn't hear the answer that she said.
Well-
The question that you asked, or how long you have to work, or what's the lesson that was, I didn't hear the answer.
If you're tier 2, 10, tier 1 is 8. Yeah.
Let's say you don't work the full 10 or 8. Let's say you retire, you're on the third one, you retire in 8 years. Does that get anything at all, or is it a lesser amount or nothing?
Put your mind at ease. The money they've taken, it's your money. If you use it as pension, it's there, it's there to give you a guaranteed lifetime income, which is a good thing. And you're gonna be better off that way than if you took the money out. Okay, but regardless, if you work 9 years and you needed the 10, that's your money there. You take it as taxable income, mind you, but it is your money. And then you can do with it as you please. But you generally, again, 99% of the time, you're better off to take it as a pension if it's available as
So
a
that's what I
pension.
meant when you take it as a pension.
Could you take it as a
Retire
pension?
early.
No,
No,
you have to be 10 years.
So you gotta work the 10 to get the pension.
yeah, if you're.
But your unused sick days, give
They-
them
they
time.
do very good. So if you do have sick days, that's an individual case, you gotta look into it, how much time you got. And that's where, one of the key reasons I like meeting with people, so you don't quit a month early. I don't care how tough it is, move to Ohio for a month and work there. They have an opening. That's part of the key points that we wanna make. What are the important dates? Don't bail out early where you're losing a lifetime income. Please don't do that.
If you decide to withdraw early, can you take a little, or do you have to take the whole amount?
It's your money, so you take the whole amount. Most people move it over to an individual IRA. So it's in your name, and then
And then by doing
Can't
that,
have
it's not
withdrawals.
taxed?
it's gonna be taxed.
So you
It'll
can't-
always be taxed, but not when you move it. If you do it properly,
Could you take a small portion at a time to maximize your tax bracket?
so you're not paying more taxes, what I'm trying to say, so to maximize your tax benefit. Depending on your situation, you could have penalty on top of 10% if you take it out prior to 59.5. But again, that would be something that would be good to just give a quick chat and see what your situation brings. Go ahead, sir.
As far as the benefit goes, the retirement benefit, it's
So I didn't even know.
Here's someone in their late 70s, probably not best for him to take a monthly, because he'll never probably realize the whole benefit of IMRF.
Yes and no, because any money that you don't take in pension will come back to your beneficiary. So again, each situation is different, and we need to, the money you put in is your money, period. It's, it's your money. If you're vested and you got the pension, it's your money. You have an amount of money that's in there, let's put it that way. All right, if you, say you got 100 grand in there, and then you've only been able to draw 10,000, your heirs are gonna get the 90. That's why they have beneficiaries.
That
That's
just happened to
it.
me with my mom, by the way.
Pardon?
That just happened to me with my mom. She was in the IMRF, so we, all three, my brother, my sister, and I got all of the rest.
And that's another key point that you bring up, thank you, that make sure, do you all have proper beneficiaries set up? Do we have an X on there that doesn't need to be on there? That's something you don't want to leave it to an X. I've seen beneficiaries on life insurance that just, they've never changed it. And it's some horror stories.
The X was had.
Yeah. So that's another thing we can help you with, get the proper beneficiary designation on your case. So, again, I will stick around, and again, just take 10 minutes, have a quick phone call. We also know I'm from Peoria, mind you, but we also have local representation. If we need to meet face to face and I can't make it, we'll get somebody, we'll get you taken care of, is my point. So, all right, well, thank you so much. And again, you guys are blessed here, man. Again, I've been at the Peoria Bus Barn. This is like better than most schools in Peoria. This facility is insane.
Caviar and blood.
Yeah, so, anyway, thanks for doing what you do. Keep it up and enjoy your last 35 days. You're welcome. Not done yet.
Come on, man.
All right, so real quick, before we get into, really get into it, we wanted to bring up this new road, this new development that's going on. So this is off of Lewis Road, it's Emma's Way, and as you can see on there, it looks like it's just a field. If you drive over there, it's a bunch of townhomes. Now, Emma's Way is a wide road. At the end of it, you can turn around in it, but we do not go down Emma's Way. We do not go down cul-de-sacs unless we absolutely have to. So we just wanted to bring it up so that anybody knew, if you end up covering that route for some reason, that you do not take the students down Emma's Way. You drop them off right at the intersection of Lewis, Heritage Court, and Emma's Way.
Looks like the road's gonna go all the way around at some point, doesn't it?
This is a walking path they have planned.
Oh, okay.
That way, people at the end of it don't have to walk all the way around to get down there.
It's wide enough to drive.
It is wide enough for a bus to go down, but we're saying we're not going to. There are other cul-de-sacs that we can fit our bus down, but a lot of them, you have to make a 3-point turn to turn around in them. And we don't want to do that if we don't have to, because again, like Mary said, we don't want to back up. There are select areas and the drivers that do those, such as Elm Road. You can turn around there. Those are ones that everybody knows we can do that for. So unless you've been pre-authorized, do not go down the cul-de-sacs thinking you can just turn around and do a 3-point. All right. Any questions on that? Okay. So, we're gonna do things a little different today. There is no presentation, no PowerPoint, no boring movie, nothing like that. But I am going to make you guys interact with me today instead of just staying quiet. So, we have had an overwhelming number of people coming asking us questions of what to do in certain situations, to the point to where we're spending way too much time in the office on this. So I'm going to run down different scenarios and we're going to talk about what do we do in those. But when I run across a scenario, first thing I'm going to do is ask you guys, what do you think you would do? And we'll talk about it. I want to see what your guys' thoughts are. Maybe you don't know what to do in that situation. Maybe you do. But we want to make sure everybody's on the same page with this. So our first one's, because it was the most recent one, we're going to start with storms. And I don't mean just a typical thunderstorm. I'm talking like what happened this past week. So, what do we do when we can't see because the rain is coming down too hard? Pull over.
Put your hazards
Pull over, put your hazards on. if you're on a too busy of a road, I'll use Jackie as an example. She pulled over on a road where she was almost hit twice because she was on the side of the road. Pull into a parking lot. Anything, call and let us know on the radio. We're not gonna be mad at you because you can't see where you're going. It's the safety of the kids. So then, Aurora got golf ball sized hail. What are you guys gonna do if you're getting slammed by hail while you're driving down the road? Same thing, pull over, get somewhere safe. Do not evacuate the bus. You do not need to be running through that kind of hail. All right. What if you have tornado sirens going off? Closest school. What if you're not near a school? Fire department, church, police department. If you're not near any of those, or you're out of district and you don't know where they are, go to the biggest place you can find and get inside. It is getting those students to safety. So make sure if you're out of district routes, make sure you have a plan. Pay attention to what you're passing by that you can run into if it goes off. And let us know where you're going. If you can't get us on the radio, call us once you get inside. But we just need to know where you're at and that you're safe.
Aren't most churches locked?
Not, it all depends.
Yeah, so you could.
Because
pull
the
up to
church
and-
I grew up at was always unlocked. So it really depends. I couldn't tell you for sure.
Prior to.
The well that's up there by the Cougars game, they're open from 9 to 2.
Right.
So if you're not sure, we can always check ahead. Or if you know something else is gonna be unlocked, I heard somebody say Walmart. Walmart's gonna be open. All right. And then I bring this up, when we have any of these scenarios, what should be on your bus? Strobe light. Kelly had to call it out on the radio last week because there was a lot of people leaving without strobe lights. In weather like that, we wanna make sure we have them on because it makes you more visible.
I guess I was always under the impression you have it on when the kids are, you're starting to pick up kids or something.
There's mixed answers to that one. There are some places that's what they do. It's when you have kids on the bus, you turn the strobe on. We've always.
Regardless of weather?
Regardless of weather, yes. We've always done it with the aspect of we do it in inclement weather because if we do it all the time, people get used to it and it doesn't become a warning symbol anymore.
Right.
So our policy is always when it's bad weather, foggy, stormy, whatever, we put our strobes on. Any other scenarios you guys wanna talk about that have to do with storms or inclement weather, anything like that?
Are you okay if we drop off the kids at their homes or, real close to their homes? Like when it's getting really, when you get a real bad storm, I mean, I know all my kids, I know where they live, so I mean, I can,
If it gets to a point to where we've got like a tornado watch going on, not a warning like one's going, but a tornado watch, Mary and I have called that over the radio before, is get them home ASAP. If you're passing them, just drop them off, get them in the house. But we will make that call when that's going on. Any other questions on those, inclement weather? Phil?
What happens if you're in the middle of the road in the morning?
Yeah, you're in the middle of dropping home.
If you're in the middle of dropping kids off at the school?
Picking up.
Oh, you're in the middle of picking them
Or
up.
dropping them off home.
They'll go back home and they're waiting up there.
That is a hard one. What I would say is, you guys have access to all the schools and you're picking up near an elementary school at some point, is if we're calling out that something like that is like a tornado siren's going off, is you're gonna stop your route and you're gonna head to your nearest school. And we can send out a mass thing to all staff, but usually central office is gonna send something out that tells parents that routes are being delayed due to tornado or sirens or whatever. But we have the same ability to send it out to all the parents at once.
So we just go to the nearest school.
Yeah, we're gonna radio to tell you guys to go to the nearest school.
Once you hear that,
Yeah.
And then we should call in and say that.
Where- yep.
Where we last picked up.
Correct. Where you last picked up, what school, we'll have an idea, but just to help us out, what school you're at, so that we know. That's exactly why Mary got you guys access to all the school buildings, so if that happens, you guys are able to get in the building with the kids, be safe.
But Matt, at North, we have access through that door, but the door is a double.
It's a double fob.
Right, so you can only get into that vestibule and pretty much one school bus of kids will fit in there. Are you calling the school then, and they're gonna open up that second one?
At that time,
Matt, I just got in, cause
it worked for both of them?
I didn't have access with my fob before, and then just on Friday, I got in both of them.
Through both of them?
Uh-huh.
Does yours not work at both of them?
Nope.
You got something.
Then there's something with yours, cause it should work through both.
What, every morning you?
I'm talking about the emergency door by the gymnasium.
Oh, okay.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Oh, no, I think she's talking about the front door.
Oh, no, so I'm talking about the emergency plan, how to get in. Isn't that why they gave us access to additional
Just
doors?
get in anywhere you can.
Yes, they did. I did not know, we didn't know that we don't know the building layout, so we
So
didn't know
it's
there was
door
a double
two.
door there.
Ours is door 2 at North, and if you use your fob, yes, you can go in there, but it's the second door and you have no access to it.
And there's no card reader.
There is a card reader.
Yeah, there is on that door, but I didn't realize there was a
Right.
fob on the next
So
one.
this, just so you know.
But you can get through both of them through the main front door too, if you have to, that way you can get in.
I
Bill?
was told that, at South, that, you can get in the one door, but not the other, and the reason for that is that if you clock in and out at that school, you'll have access. But if that's not when you normally clock in, you don't have that second door access.
That
You
was-
have to go
And
through
use
the
the
office.
side door.
That was changed when we gave everybody access. Yeah, cause that's what the door Pamela's talking about, where she just tried that, Bill, is she got in through both sets of doors to get in.
I tried it last week, it didn't work.
Yeah, mine doesn't work either.
Is that South or North?
South.
This was at South.
Well, then
Yeah,
we'll have to get a list of whose aren't working through both doors, cause they should be.
We're talking the main doors?
Yeah, the main door is south, and then I asked,
You don't wanna be there.
Well, that's what I'm
all
saying,
I'm
you should be going past those, so if you can't get through there,
Yeah.
we need to know that.
I even asked in the office there, I can't get through that door, and then they said, there's a problem there.
Alright, well, if you are having that problem, just shoot me an email. I don't have anything to jot down everybody's name right now.
One solution might be the side doors. You know, like not at the top of the U, the main one has the double fob, but on the 2 side doors, there is only a single.
But I don't think you guys have access to those doors.
Yes,
They
we
only-
do.
No, we do.
We do.
Do you?
Yeah.
'Cause they only gave you access to, I'd have to look at the sheet Brandy made up again that was sent out, but there's, you guys only have access to limited doors.
Right, the whole U, both of, all 3 entrances of the U, we have access.
Okay.
The right one only has one, the left one has two.
Yeah, that's what Jeannie was saying, is that the one to the right, which is the gymnasium, that has 2 that you'd have to go through.
But the one on the right, the cafeteria has one.
Okay.
Not so.
All right, any other questions? All right, I'll briefly go over this one because Mary already covered this. Tight spots and blocked roads. What do you do in those situations?
For help.
Call in for help. I mean, and I'm gonna use Jeannie as an example, I've gone out there and backed Jeannie up a block and a half because she went down North Mathewson as she rounded the corner. If any of you are familiar with that, it's one really long road. She rounded the corner and the road was blocked. So we backed up all the way back down North Mathewson. Long path to go. But the point is, even if you think it's gonna be a tight squeeze, you might be able to make it, just call us. We don't need, we don't want you guys getting yourselves into that situation where you're hitting something with your tail swing. Because it's hard to tell that you even did. Between your mirrors and just the feel of the bus, you may not even realize you did it. And you think, okay, great, I made it through. And then a phone call comes in. We want to try and alleviate that and keep you guys out of that situation. All right. What about if you guys get into a bus accident? Does everybody know the procedure? Radio in. What if you can't get a hold of base because you're too far out of district?
Use your cell phone.
Use your cell phone. That way we know where you're at, we can get somebody to you, get 911 dispatched. When you get into an accident, other than calling us, what is the first thing you do? Make sure your students are okay if there's any injuries, because that's the first thing we're gonna ask you guys. Are you okay, and are your students okay? And then we're gonna ask you if you can tell if the other driver's okay. We know you can't get off the bus because you've got students on there. But if it's a serious enough accident, you're gonna know if that driver's potentially hurt or not. When the police arrive on scene, what do you guys do? Give them your insurance card. Give them your student list, so while you're waiting for them to arrive, make sure you take your student list out of your bulkhead and mark down where everybody's sitting, check off who was on the bus. That way you can just give it to them. It alleviates a lot of questions, saves them a lot of paperwork.
For the cops, it doesn't matter where they're sitting. I mean, whatever your policy is, we'll go by.
Oh, they usually ask us when they come out.
No, because for the state form, all it says, you got the drivers, back seat, then rear passengers. That's just a general.
Gotcha.
And the first thing they asked me was, where's their medical report?
Mhm. And those are on, you guys have those in confidential folders as well for the students that have medical reports. So if they ask for it, you guys have it, it's in your confidential folders, you can give that to them. They're authorized personnel. Make sure you give them answers to their questions, don't add your opinions that you think this person was being reckless, whatever, that's their job to determine. All right. Evacuating a bus. When do we evacuate the bus? Well, not necessarily just when it's stopped, if there's a fire. Well, let me give you a good example, Dave. What if your bus breaks down and it's -10 outside? You gonna empty the bus? No. Now, if your choices are -10 outside and you're in a dangerous spot, a train, the bus is on fire, then you're gonna get out regardless. And unfortunately, those high school kids that think they're cool with shorts are going to be freezing.
Right, right. No.
So, if you have to evacuate for something like that, you wanna get at least 100 to 200 feet away from the bus. If it's on fire or anything like that, you wanna get it as far away as possible. If it's a train, you wanna head diagonal towards the train, because you do not want any debris coming back at you or the students. And you wanna use whatever exit is farthest from the danger. Alright, we'll go into, any questions on that? Any of that?
Yeah, what about fire? I mean, if you go upwind?
If there's a fire,
Yeah, or you have to
yeah,
look at-
I
look at
would
your
go
surroundings.
upwind, head away from it. And that's why we say 100 to 200 feet, depending on the scenario, you wanna get, if it's on fire, you're gonna wanna get farther away, you don't wanna be in any of that smoke, cause that's gonna turn black really fast. And I'll bring this up because somebody had this, even if it's steam coming out of the under the hood, call us and let us know. We had a situation where the driver got to the school and it ended up being steam, wasn't anything dangerous, but they're sitting at the school loading and there's smoke coming out from under the hood. Even if you think that's steam, what does that look like to all the staff and parents picking up their kids? It looks like you are loading a bus that is on fire. Doesn't matter if you know it's steam, call us. We'll just send it, that, all we did was we sent a different
Don't let
bus.
'em on.
Correct. If they're already on the bus and you're just noticing, get them back off the bus. It ended up being nothing, but we don't need parents panicking, thinking, oh my God, they're loading a bus that's on fire. What is going on in Geneva? All right, any other questions on evacuating or accidents? Actually, I got one more question for you. In an accident, what do you do when you get back to base? Fill out an accident report. Well, we've had a couple of people do that. That's why I bring that up. We need that accident report as soon as possible, because that's the first thing insurance is gonna ask for. And then depending on the size of the damage or if there's injuries, something like that, Mary or I may take you over to Dreyer for a drug test. It's nothing personal, but there's certain criteria that when it is met, we have to take you over there. That's just what the law says. All right. Student-related injuries. Jim Ripkus, you're not allowed to answer this first one. What do you do if there's a fight? You're gonna call it in, you're gonna pull over, and you're gonna tell us you need police and admin ASAP. Don't even hesitate. Jim did it perfectly. He didn't hesitate, told us he needed assistance, and that there was a fight on the bus, and pulled over. That's what you need to do, and if we have follow-up questions, we will ask them, but that's what we need to know. Do not try to intervene the fight. If you do, there's nothing that says you cannot defend yourself if they're coming at you, because I know that's always a question. Or if you want to try and stop the fight, the problem that's going to come in is the legalities of you touching a student, because those can quickly get twisted into what you did. So that's why we say, if it's going on, I know you want to try and break it up, stop the fight, you're better off just letting them go. And if you have to defend yourself against a student, all I can say is do your best not to, and whatever you do, do not be excessive with it, because again, it's going to be you versus a student.
And the cameras on the bus.
Yep, you have the cameras on the bus. But even the law says that if you're defending yourself, it's within reasonable defense. So if you've got them down and they can't fight back anymore, that doesn't mean keep wailing on them just because they punched you. That's gonna turn around and bite you in the butt. All right.
How do you like it?
What if a student has a seizure?
Lay them on the floor.
Pull over. Actually, you don't lay them on the floor anymore.
Oh, no.
No, a lot of the buses, you're not gonna be able to lay them on the floor because it's gonna be a tight squeeze in between those seats. What they tell you to do is to either try and keep them in an upright position or lay them on the seat, but you want them turned so that their head, if they end up vomiting, it doesn't stay in their mouth, down their throat, become a choking hazard. And do not restrain them if they're, having what everybody considers a typical seizure of thrashing around.
So put them on their stomach.
Yeah, if you're supposed to protect their head, more likely their side if you're gonna try and lay them down, but it's not gonna be able to be on the floor. You can protect their head.
Note how long it lasts.
Yep, note how long it lasts. And any of the symptoms, if their eyes rolled back, if they're pale, anything like that, those are the questions that medical is going to ask you. Mike?
There are certain things too, is that in your blue folder on some of the sped buses, that you look at your medical stuff, because there are certain kids that you lay them on their left side, not their right side.
There is. There
You
are.
gotta look at that kind of stuff.
The students with seizure disorders have those notes in their files and what to do in case they have a seizure. And it's the same as an accident. It's you pull over, you call us and let us know that you need 911. If you can't get a hold of us, just call 911 first. That student safety is primary. And then call us. And they're gonna be asking me all those questions I just asked you. How long's it been going on for? Is the student on their side? Or how are they positioned? We have one student with a seizure disorder who's in a safety vest. That is honestly a perfect scenario right there, because if he has one, he's already upright, he can't go anywhere, his head isn't going to be hitting a window or anything. If they're in some kind of equipment, unless it's completely restricting them from moving, just leave them where they're at. What if a student has an allergic reaction to something?
Call it in.
Call it in. Yep, if they have an EpiPen, if they have to use the EpiPen, we need to know, because then you gotta call 911. That's only a temporary Band-Aid. We need to know if it's that serious. If you call it in, we're gonna ask you how far from the school you are, and we're gonna have a nurse out there as you guys pull up, if it gets to that point. It all depends. You're probably gonna have to pull the bus over and see how serious of a reaction they're having. More than likely, we're going to call someone out to help you where you're at, because we don't wanna risk the student's situation. We know you're not doctors. It's your best guess as to how serious it is. Obviously, if they say they're struggling to breathe, or you notice it, then that's a big concern. Same with if they have an inhaler and they need to use it, we need to know if you see that happen, or if they tell you they need their inhaler. What if a student gets sick on your bus?
Open.
Nope.
Try not to vomit.
Call, yep, try not to vomit yourself. That's gonna be a rough one. In everybody's bulkhead, there is a bag of Voban. It will stop the smell. Dump it on top of I don't care if you use the whole dang bag, just dump it on top of the mess.
Actually, so obviously this just happened to me.
Yep.
And it's sealed up, and it was very hard to get open, but the side of my bag in particular had a split in it. And it was like, okay, I'm going for
Yep,
that, and just rip it open. But I'm
blow it
just
up.
saying, they're hard to open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did not know that. That's good to know. But it will get rid of the stench. Because like Pamela's situation, she just started her route. So we gotta get the kid home. And if we have to send you another bus to swap out, we're delaying in everybody else getting home. So the best case scenario is put that on there. We will meet you at a good stopping point and swap out buses out. We're not gonna make you go the entire route with a pile of vomit on your bus. Alright. Other than the student being sick, when you get back here, you fill out a UOR sheet, an unusual occurrence report, because we need to know what happened. And we need it from your perspective.
Okay, do you take the student home first, or do you just go on your route? Do you take that student?
For
Right,
which
if they
situation?
threw up.
If they threw up?
You take that kid directly home, or you just go on your regular route?
If they're getting sick, depends how far out of the way you gotta go. If it's an easy transition to just take them home first, I would just take them home first. If not, I would give them the garbage can and do the best you can. All right. What if your bus has a mechanical issue? We'll start with, what if it has an issue before you go out on route? Well, you should check it with your pre-trip. But the question is, what do you do when you notice something? Call it in. Let us know so that we can get a hold of Jeremy and see if he can fix it before you guys go out. I know it seems like an obvious one, but we've had people just go out thinking it's no big deal, and it's something that's safety related. So, if anything's not working, just let us know, and we will tell you if you can keep going with your route, or if you need to swap buses, if we need to get Jeremy over there. If you notice something after your route, what do you do? Write it up. We still have a lot of people coming in and telling us in the office, well, we've got a bunch of stuff going on. We don't have the best memories. We take sticky notes. If you go look at any of our desks, there's sticky notes everywhere. Make sure you write it up. Bill?
You know, I've noticed that when you get that triangle comes on, there might be a couple of other warning. Almost every time when you turn that bus off and restart it, it goes away.
Correct. With Laura's situation this morning, that's more than likely what we would have told her, but she was on her way back. So we just had the mechanics hook up to it and see what they were on for, but more than likely it's the same situation. If she would have pulled over, shut it off, it would have gone away. The ABS ones can just be from a sensor reading bad for a little bit too long and then back to normal. It's really dependent. But if you have something like that come on during your route, it doesn't matter how little it is. I know we tell you guys that the engine light, not the triangle, but the engine, usually isn't that big of a deal. And generally it's not. But we still want to know, because that depends on what your gauges are reading or what the dash is saying. Because it could be something serious, but the likelihood is not. So if you get a light on, if a gauge starts going off, whatever, call it in and we'll advise you otherwise and what to do. If we tell you to keep going, just make sure you write it up when you get back. Don't worry, we're almost done. I can hear the yawns. All right. In any of these situations, you're probably going to be late on your route, getting back here, whatever. If you're running late, what are you going to do when you get back here?
Fill out a sheet.
Fill out a clock in and clock out sheet. So I'm going to bring this one up because I know it's getting around. The Wi-Fi is not being shut off. I know that's the rumor that's going around. With everybody having trouble connecting their phones to the Wi-Fi, technology has spent a lot of time out here helping everybody with their phones, but unfortunately they cannot continue to do so. So technology, if you cannot connect your phone to the Wi-Fi, technology will not be coming out. If you cannot connect to be able to clock in on your phone, you're going to have to use the time clock. That's just the unfortunate truth about it. We can try and help you in the office, but if we can't be spending too much time on this. Some people's phones just won't connect, and sometimes it's due to the age of the phone. Sometimes it's just something we can't even figure out what it is, why you guys won't connect. The Wi-Fi in the bays. I know everybody likes to try and clock in and out back there so you can just walk to your car. However, the Wi-Fi is frequently down back there. They understand that, but again, they keep spending a lot of time coming out here trying to fix it. So if it's not working, you need to walk up here and clock in or out and just fill out a sheet if you're running behind your time. Not calling Kelly or Brandy and saying, hey, can you clock me in? I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, and we've not enforced it, but in your agreement, it actually says if we have to clock you in, you guys get docked 10 minutes. We've never enforced it because it's never been a serious amount of people doing it. Just letting you guys know that is in your agreement. Switching over for trips. If you are sitting here or at the middle school waiting for your trip to start, that does not mean, let me rephrase that. If you're on the clock and doing it, say you took a second round trip, okay, we'll do it that way. So you've voluntarily given up route time to take a trip, and you're sitting here waiting for your trip. Where are you gonna switch at? The time clock. We've had several people who switch over when they get to the school. But there's travel time involved with field trips, and second round, you've given up route time. So you would switch over here at the time clock. If you're going directly from your route to the field trip, that's a different story. Then you clock out when you get to the school. But if you're just sitting here, if you're not doing a route, you've voluntarily given up route time. Just want to make sure everybody knows that. Any questions on any of that? Last one we have. Everybody's favorite one. Seating charts for elementary kids. Make sure you are keeping them accurate. We had a situation last week where there was an incident with a student. The sub-driver was covering it, and the seating chart was incorrect.
Quit looking at me.
I'm looking around in general, Dave. But we have not finished reviews, and some of you know that I've called you out on your seating charts when I've gotten on the bus. We spot check. If I'm riding with Fear Elementary, I will ask you whose seat I'm in. And I'll go ask a few kids, where do you sit? If they don't know, then I know they're not going to the right spot. What's that?
They don't know what bus they're on sometimes.
Well, sometimes they don't. And I know it's really late in the year to be pressing this, but at the beginning of the year, the elementary schools like to keep these in place because it helps with behavioral issues. And they set them up. However, if something's not working on the bus, if two siblings keep constantly fighting, we can separate them. We can move them. We just gotta let the school know, and you guys gotta let us know. We need to know that information so we can let them know, and we need to know why, if you're moving them apart. Because the school's gonna ask us, well, why do they need to be moved? We want siblings together. Well, Johnny and Susie keep punching each other. We can't have that on the bus. Yep, they're fighting, hitting, whatever. They can't be doing that.
So seating charts are here to stay then?
For elementary, yes.
Okay.
Middle school and high school, it's as they deem it necessary. We've had the assistant principal at North come out to one bus and tell them if they didn't knock it off, they were gonna get assigned seats. But we haven't had to do that yet. It's more for elementary school kids.
Unless there's another COVID.
Yeah, let's knock on wood, that's not coming. All right, any other questions on anything? All right, you guys are free to go.